YouTube, what is up? Mark here, Waist Deep Wade Fishing, Southwest Florida. Hope everyone's having a good time. And again, we're getting into some magical moments here in the summer. The time where the big female snook are running up and down the troughs and the beaches. Redfish, the monster redfish are sitting up underneath the mangroves, and the sea trout, it's been a hit or miss. Sometimes you can find a couple of slobs. Other days you're playing with a lot of little dinks in the grass. But other than that, today's video is going to focus on something that we have in Florida that is a major occurrence every single day. Right around 3 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, we usually get what we call the midday, a little bit after the midday rain. Sometimes it can last 10 minutes, sometimes it can last 2 or 3 hours. But on the average, it's usually quick. It comes in, 20, 30 minutes, it blows through, and then the skies open back up, and it's fairly beautiful. So today's subject is going to dissect why low pressure and high pressure will affect the feeding patterns on a snook, a redfish, a snook, a redfish, and a sea trout. And it does. Regardless of tide, regardless of water clarity, regardless of wind, that particular pattern, okay, when it's that time of season or that time of the year, and you have those pressure drops that are usually right around the same time of day. If you've got the right conditions and you don't have a lot of people in the water on the beach, or a lot of people on the grass flat, it can be magical. And the water doesn't even have to be moving. It's going to set the fish off. Fish will naturally feed when there is a significant change in pressure. So for example, I'm going to make this short and sweet. When it's a high pressure day, and it's sunny, bluebird skies, not a cloud, great for sight fishing, and if you are in the right area and you happen to see a bunch of snook coming up and down the trough line and the water's clear, well then, yeah, that's great, it's heaven. You could sight cast them all day long, but every day isn't like that. It's fishing, not catching. You're not going to go to one particular beach and there's going to be huge snook there every single time. It takes work to find them, and sometimes you can't see them, even when the water is clear, and you may have a cloudy day and you're just not able to see them. But if you know how to work the beach line, you can figure out where they should be. But that's in another video. We're talking about pressure. So why is pressure so important? Well, what happens is, obviously most fish, I should say all fish, have the ability to use their lateral lines to feel. Well, those lateral lines and that ability to feel what is moving, around them, that can also pick up, they can pick up the drop in pressure. And when that pressure, when it's right about to storm, or storm is coming within the next 20 and 30 minutes, that is some of the best, sorry for the airplane here, that is some of the best time to get out there and throw those lures. Now, whether you're on a grass flat, whether you be in the backcountry, whether you be walking the beaches, fishing creek mouths, wherever you are, As long as you don't see lightning, okay, off in the distance, and it's not going to be a major storm, well, I would throw for a little bit longer, because that 20 or 30 minutes could be the most magical point of the whole day. And also, on the other side of that, sometimes when that pressure drops, they don't hit. They go and they hide, and they don't feed, because they know something is coming. But right after the storm, and the pressure starts to rise again, they will come out of wherever they were hiding, whether it be the mangroves or up in the creek or go into deeper water, and they will come back and will feed like it was their last meal. So while you're out there, don't forget about, when you're using your charts and you're using your apps for fishing, finding out when's the low pressure, when's the high pressure, when is the major bite, when is the minor bite, where's the wind coming from, what's the water clarity, is it a big moving tide, is it a small moving tide, is it a king tide, or if it's a neat tide. Keep all those in your mental log when you're setting up your fishing day. But don't forget about the pressure drops. If you use certain apps, it'll show you at certain parts of the day if the pressure is going to change. And if you live in Florida, you know it's going to rain between 3 and 7 o'clock during the summer months. So use that time to be productive. Be careful. I'm not saying go out there in the middle of a storm, but let's say you're out there and you can see that there is a storm front that is coming. You've checked your app, and your app is letting you know at this particular time the pressure is going to begin to drop. Well, as long as it's not lightning and it's not a bad storm coming, stay out there as long as you can. If you're walking the beaches, okay, if you're on a boat, it's a little bit different. But if you're walking the beaches, or if you're wading a flat and you're not too far from the shoreline and you can get into cover if the storm comes, stay out there and fish that extra 20, 30 minutes before the storm comes. And I guarantee you, and this is a guarantee for me, okay, I guarantee you that you will see that you will get those bites pre-storm front or low pressure, a low pressure drop, and then after the storm, when the pressure starts to rise. During those two moving moments, okay, in the course of the day, pressure dropping, pressure rising, fish will feed. Use that information to help you be a better angler. Of course, always be careful out there, and I'm saying this again, if you see a storm and it looks like a major storm, and it looks like the heavens are about to open, get out of the water. If you see lightning, get out of the water. But if you see a little bit of rain that's just going to come through and blow by 15, 20 minutes, it's not going to come and pour down on you. It's going to be a little summer shower. Wait it out just a little bit. Get out of the water. Maybe hunker down somewhere on the beach. As long as there's no lightning and it's not pouring, and then as soon as that storm stops, get right back in there. The minute that rain stops and you can fish, get back in that water and start walking up and down those troughs or walking that grass flat. I guarantee you'll pick up an extra fish, 2 or 4, during the course of that day. Okay, guys, that's enough with that. See you guys on the water. Love you all. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Love you. You have a great one.